LeBron's Twitter Q&A this week. He was asked, who's your favorite player under 25? LeBron responded, Luka. He's my favorite player. Sounds like somebody else we know, Shannon. How close do you think Luka compares to LeBron as a player?
I think they're very similar, Skip. Of everyone that's in the league, I think he probably reminds the people most of LeBron for the simple fact he's a franchise-altering player. He's a future MVP of the league. And like LeBron, he's asked to do everything. He has to score the basketball. He has to rebound the basketball. He has to facilitate the offense. And he does that at an extremely high level. And he's learning how to control the game without dominating the game. Because a lot of times you can fall into the trap where you dribble, and with 2 seconds you pass it to somebody else, and they got to heave up a shot. You look at him the last 2 games in which he's played, he's finding that fine balance. And I think Jason Kidd was the ideal guy for him. A point guard with extremely high IQ, played at an extremely high level, and so he can partake some wisdom on Luka and says, Luka, having been around LeBron James, having played against LeBron, having played against some of the all-time great players, he can take the knowledge that he's accumulated over the years and instill some of that in Luka. Skip, if you look at where they are basically, they're very comparable. Luka's averaging 26 points a game, 8.5 points, 8.5 rebounds, 8 assists. LeBron, through the same point, was 27, 6.7, 6.4. So Luka's probably about an assist and a half and about almost 2 rebounds better than what LeBron was. So you can see it's the same thing. What did LeBron do in year 4? He had to take down the Pistons team that had dominated the Eastern Conference, had gone to 5 straight Eastern Conference, had won in 2004. They beat the Lakers. 2005, I think they lost to the Spurs. But they had been back seemingly every single year in the Eastern Conference Finals. That's what LeBron had to go through. We know what Luka's going to have to take down. This is their 6th in the Steve Kerr era Western Conference Finals. They're 5-0 in Western Conference Finals. Now, we know 2 or 3 of those they had KD. But this is a very, very good team. So Luka's asked to do a lot of what LeBron had to do. And he's doing it with a lot less athleticism. I don't think anybody thinks that Luka is in the ballpark, the stratosphere, as far as athleticism when it comes to LeBron. But, Skip, his imprint on the game and what he's asked to do and the level in which he's asked to do it is very LeBron-esque. And so I can see why LeBron says, that's my favorite player, because he's one of the few guys, Skip, that's come in, that's been asked to be a franchise-altering player, but he's asked to do all things at an extremely high level, score, facilitate, and rebound. And he does those things at a very high level, minus the athleticism. So of all the guys that's currently playing, he most reminds me of LeBron James. Skip, I call him Baby Bird, but I think everybody knows why that, because of the complexion. I mean, if you look at it, because they play totally different positions. Larry Bird was a much better shooter. He was a much better post player than Luka. But as far as this LeBron comparison, I can see why people make it, Skip. I really can.
If you just look at the numbers, they are eerily similar.
Yeah. Yes.
Then you look at the 2 human beings, and they're not similar at all. Because you want to talk about all-time shattering of mold? Luka is shattering.
Yes.
Because he can't jump.
Nope. He
can't run like LeBron can flat out fly.
Yes.
When he gets untracked up court on any kind of break situation, he can run. I don't know if he ever timed in the 40, but he weighs 260, 270, right. and I'm sure he could run. I believe he could run under 5.
Oh, yeah. Well, probably in his prime, he probably could run if he trained. He probably could run 4 or 5 at least.
I believe it. And he's a huge human being at 6 feet 9 inches tall. That's why I always said he could have played your sport. And you said, well, the punishment factor is a whole nother issue.
Yes.
But I believe as just a red zone threat, he would have been all-time.
Oh,
I don't know how you could stop because he's 6'9" and he can leap.
Right.
Well,
he'd have been Harold Carmichael. Remember, Harold Carmichael was 6.
I thought Harold Carmichael was just like freaky tall, like geeky freaky tall.
Yes.
But LeBron's not geeky at all. He's athletic at 6'9". Okay, so can't jump, can't run, below average shooter. So he will never enter a dunk contest, nor will I believe he'll ever enter the three-point shooting contest. No. And yet we can make a case that if he stays on arc, that at some point he could be in LeBron's ballpark in putting up numbers.
Yes, absolutely.
Because to your point, the early numbers, and they're still early on Luka,
Yeah.
they indicate, seriously, he's going to be a little better scorer than LeBron. He just does. I don't know how he does it, but in the playoffs, he's averaging 32.7. Well, it's a tick above what LeBron has averaged.
No, it's more than tick. It's 4.
I'm trying to be nice about this.
LeBron is 28.7.
Yeah, okay.
Luka is 32.5.
Right. And if we look at both regular season and playoff career stats, as you point out, Luka is he's another level of rebounder.
Yeah.
He's a 10 rebound a game guy, but he's doing it Rodman-esque where it's all below the rim and it's all on anticipation where you're just doing basketball IQ. I see the ball go up and I think the caram's gonna go this way. So I'm gonna go over there and I'm gonna screen you off and I'm gonna get it on the floor, right?
Yes.
Okay. And assist-wise, he's a little bit ahead of LeBron James. And I still call LeBron the best passer in basketball. And I still believe he's a little better passer than that kid, but that kid's got the gift of seeing it and feeling it. So that kid is listed at 6'7", 230. Are you buying that somewhere in that ballpark?
Yeah, he might be a little heavier than
240, maybe? Okay. LeBron,
he might be 230 now, but I don't think he showed up to camp at 230.
So LeBron is, I'm pretty sure, 2 inches taller. I'm pretty sure he's 30.
At least 20 pounds heavier.
20 to 30 pounds heavier. And LeBron is weight room built.
Yes.
And I'm not sure that kid ever goes in the weight room.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe he does. Maybe I don't get it.
He's the classic don't judge a book by its cover.
Right.
Because, Skip, if you didn't know Luka and he showed up to the park, he's going to be the last guy taken and he's never going to lose the court because his team's not going to lose. And you're like, how did he do that?
How did he do that? Okay, he's just got some genius about him, but it's all in the confines of the lane for the most part.
Yeah.
He's starting to get his step back, and maybe as time goes on, he'll start to improve the step back. Maybe he'll improve the three.
Well, Skip, here's the thing, though. At this point, he's a better three-point shooter than what LeBron was at the exact same point.
Is it? Oh, you got the numbers at that point?
Yes, at the point. No, I'm not. LeBron has turned himself, but Luka is slightly, not much, Skip. It's not like he's Steph Curry shooting a three-point shot.
Well, all of a sudden, Luka's playoff career is up to 37.
Yeah.
LeBron's still at 33.7 from 3 for his playoff, but that's a lot of playoff games. But he stays right in that range.
Right.
And yet, free throws, LeBron's got him because LeBron's in the playoffs, in the postseason, he's 74%, which is still not very good.
Right.
But Luka, for his playoff career, is 66.8.
Yeah.
Well, that's Westbrook territory, right?
Yes.
Okay. So then we wind it up with clutchness. Who will prove to be more clutch? Well, I've told you before, I can only go off the overall numbers of LeBron James. Since he entered the league, in his whole career, he's 29 of 133 in what are called clutch shots, late and close shots, 29 of 133. So that 104 missed clutch shots, at least he's taken a whole bunch of them. That is by far the most since he entered the league. And that's 21.8% that he's making of late and close shots. Then we look at his three-point shooting. It's way off. It's 10 of 64 in late and close. This is LeBron, and that's 15.6%. And then his free throw shooting is 21 of 38. That's 55.3% of late and close free throws. Okay. Luka is not much better in all. He started out in late and close shots. He was 1 for his first 10 in those. And now he's 7 of 21, which is 33%. His three-point shooting is 5 of 18 late and close shots, so that's 27%. You could say he's a tick better than LeBron, but neither one of them obviously ever separated and showed that's what they do best. I'm not sure it's what Luka does best either. He's got a lot of games to make up on LeBron, and he's just starting to figure it out.
Yeah, and the thing is that is he going to take care of himself so he's able to have long...
I'm glad you brought that up because
that's going to be key, Skip.
We're early in his career, and he showed up this year completely out of shape, and it's not a good look,
No, it's not, and hopefully he learns, Skip, because, he's able to whip himself into shape fairly quick at 24. Okay, what happens when you get 28, 29? What happens when you get 30? You know 30 is a whole different ballgame. I do believe if he were to stay on this path, he can be like LeBron, a guy that has, 30,000, 10, and 10. LeBron's the only one in that category. I believe he has the next best chance to have 30,000 points, 10,000 rebounds, 10,000 assists. Hell, he might at his totals, He might be ahead. He might be 30,000, 11,000. But yeah, Skip. I mean, what he's asked to do at that young age, turn a franchise around, and yeah, we're going to try to put some players around you. But the likelihood of us getting another all-star, top 5, 10 level caliber talent in your prime is not very good. And he's doing it. He said, and if he were to take down the Warriors, Skip, I don't know. You would have to have put him in a different light.
Is it possible that Luka actually compares more favorably to Tom Brady than to LeBron James?
No, because I think the thing is that, well, it all depends. Because Tom, we're looking at Tom in today's lens. But when Tom got there, Tom was not franchise altering. He was the 6th round draft pick. He was not brought in to be the savior of a franchise. It kind of like fell into his lap, and he did a great job of that. Those first couple, Skip, they were a defensive-based team. After that, they were a Tom Brady-led team.
Okay, but what I'm saying is he ran the ugliest 40-yard dash